gut. Okay.
Okay.
Today we're in my shop in Kristiansand in Southside with Tommi, and we recorded a clip last year, and something that I really wanted everyone to know. But I'd like to do another quick. Tommi had a really interesting story about how he first started his business. Now, he can share as much as he wants, but it was one of the reasons I started my business, hearing the story of how Tommi grew his business from basically just being a sponsored athlete to eventually having the multi-million-dollar business he has now in Norway. And so I just wanted you, because the last recording we did, you didn't go into the detail of the fish factory and having stock in there. I went home and I told my son that story. I told other people that story, and people listen, but I go, no, you don't understand. This is like a Tony Robbins motivational thing. So can you do a quick recap on what you did when you were a sponsored Weider athlete, and how you went from being a sponsored athlete to having the business that you have right now?
Well, I came back to Norway and I didn't have much, actually. I had a sponsor, been living there, and he was really good. But I came back, I didn't have much money, and I know when I went back I would lose the Weider contract. But before I lost it, I got a new contract with Protein Spesialisten, so in a few months I have 2 salaries.
Yeah.
But then Weider called me and they said, yeah, where are you? Yeah, I'm going to stay in Norway. So they cut me.
Yeah.
Because he was in the contract, I had to live in the States.
And he was doing like contract year to year, wasn't it? Like most people had to get a new contract every year. Yeah.
So you had the kind of pressure. You need to be in shape. When they call you, you need to be in shape, photo shoots, everything. So I stayed in shape, but that's what I wanted. So it was great. But anyway, I came back, and what should I do now? My bodybuilding was not on the way up. It was actually pretty much started to finish. I did more shows, but it was not in the beginning. It was more like starting to end.
Yeah.
And I had to do something to make my living, because I knew in the end I put everything I had into bodybuilding. I didn't have a plan B. I just had one plan E. A T. So anyway, I had a friend. He said he had a fish storage, and I was with Protein Spesialisten, so they gave me good prices.
Yeah.
So we start selling protein at the fish storage warehouse. It's not as big, but I thought if I write online, people might come. And actually, I did write online on some websites which promoted training, and people start coming up to the fish warehouse. It smelled fish long way.
What suburb was that in?
It was in Oslo, and it was up at Tveita in Norway.
Yep.
So they came there, and we started selling protein, and then we got this idea that we should start to sell more in the city to make more people coming. So actually in the Oslo city, I got a place in 4th floor up in a big building. It's not in the first, the street is up there. So actually I started still writing online, and people came up 4th floor, and then suddenly we got this small place on a corner where the tram goes in Oslo, a place there in the city.
Not far from Harald's, isn't it?
No, it's not far from Harald's gym. And actually there was a shop close by Harald's gym.
Yeah.
And I was working for Protein Spesialisten, and I went into that shop and I asked them, do you want to sell Protein Spesialisten's products? And the person there said, she was friendly and everything, but she said, I haven't heard about Protein Spesialisten. Yeah, but they're selling a lot online. Online is the new thing now.
Yeah.
And they said they didn't want to sell it.
No.
So I told to myself, after working at the headquarters in Protein Spesialisten in Sandefjord, I saw the numbers. I saw the number of people who order from Oslo. So I saw, here is a market for Protein Spesialisten. So after negotiating, we opened a store there. It was not in my name because I didn't have any money. So it was my friend's name. That was running it. So I did start marketing, and we put a big banner of Protein Fabrikken over the shop. So the people in the tram and everybody saw the sign, and they came into the shop, and they asked, "Is this Protein Fabrikken?"
Yeah.
Yes, it actually is. It's the main sale in Norway, in Oslo, and people started coming in. And we sold more and more, and to make the story a little shorter, after a while I got the chance to buy the shop myself, and then I moved to another location, and then we started selling online, and then we opened up a store in Drammen, and we start making our own supplements.
Yeah.
It was because I was working in the shop 6 times a day, and I also had a gym. But I really liked working with supplements and giving what the people want, because I was an athlete myself, so I knew what supplements I used. So selling all these products in the shop, analyzing all the products, I knew I could make something better. So that's my goal. I want to make something for the people they could use and really feel. So I started making a product based on... I talked to Dorian when I was working in England at this gym for a while. And at that time he had a blend of protein with different sources of protein. Fast, medium, and long. About that. So that's what I want to make, because the protein you can use all day. So that was the first we made, Whey Explode. And then we came out with a pre-workout, and then we started...
That was the brand that when you did the pro show in Australia, that was the blue and yellow Dorian. Yeah, he had his signature on the
t-shirts. He had I think it was the Pro Peptide, and it was the Dorian Yates approved. He had a company, and he was working with Kerry Case. So I had a sponsor when I was an amateur, actually, with Dorian Yates approved, and that's one of the reasons I moved to England, because I want to be close to the supplement company where I got the supplements from, and also train at Dorian's gym, the old Temple gym. So I did that. I was there for a while. So I mean, it was tough. I was working and saved up money, and saved up 40,000-50,000, and just took my bag and moved to the Temple gym.
So you lived in Birmingham for how long? For a year or 2 years?
1 year and 8 months about. So I came there, and John Hodgson, one of the guy who worked at the Kerry Case and Dorian's business there, I stayed at his place up in England, in Manchester, and he basically drove me down to Temple Gym. And Dorian knew I was coming. He came in his Mercedes, came down, and I was there with bags and saying, "No, I'm here. I'm going to train at the gym." And he was like, he knew I was coming, but I don't think he really knew I should come, because he was a judge in the show, Oslo Bodybuilding Trophy, some months before. We were eating after the show at Aker Brygge, and the steakhouse there. And I asked, "I really want to come and train at the gym." "Yeah, why? Why not? Come and train at the gym." So I really did it, and I was there, and he said, "We got to find an apartment for you." So we went out, and he bought the newspaper, and we called on a flat, and he drove me to the flat, and I'm training there. It was great.
So what did you do? How did you survive with money? What was the...
I was working basically at this gym. He offered me to work there a little bit, and I was doing some door work. So, but I was happy, man. Training there. It was really cold though in the winter.
It can't be colder than Norway though.
But I didn't bother of the cold. But it's kind of funny, because I asked him to buy, if we're gonna have a heater down because it was really cold. But I'm from Norway, so I didn't bother. So we got that. But when I start training in the gym in the winter, it was so cold that you have to use extra sweater, and then when you get warmer, and right in the end you were in the singlet doing a few shots, and then on with the clothing. But Dorian is known for that. He didn't want to train in a singlet.
No.
Because he didn't want to show his body.
Yeah, no, I've
so
heard
for
that.
him, it didn't matter so much, and for us, we didn't care.
Yeah.
We were very happy being in this gym. He was.
How many members do you think that gym had?
Not so many, but I don't think Dorian cared.
Dorian
cared so much. I think he was. There's a story about Dorian. He was so into the training. So.
That's all right.
So some of the friends told him that when he was training for the competition, he wanted to train about 11 to 12 with his friend. You know what that is?
Who?
His training partner.
Oh, yeah, I know the guy that used in the videos, in the Blood Guts videos. Yeah, he's Scottish. Welsh, I think.
They trained together.
Yeah.
And then.
So he trained from 11 to 12.
Davis.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't know, but he trained from 11 to 12.
Yeah, they trained together.
Yeah.
And then nobody was allowed in the gym.
During that workout?
Yeah, when he trained from 11 to 12, nobody was allowed in the gym. Yeah. So even if his wife came down at that time, he didn't look at her, he didn't say hello, didn't nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
But can you imagine, he's living in England, there by himself, and won the Olympia, and everybody's changing in all bodybuilders in the whole world. So can you imagine how strong he's in his mind, going there alone, only with his training partner, and going to defend his title?
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of pressure. That's the way he liked it. He could handle it.
Yeah.
Every year, and that's respect.
And he is my favorite bodybuilder of all time. It's the reason why nearly every.
I think it's good that people have coaches.
Yeah.
They need that, but he didn't believe mostly on himself.
No, but that was the thing in the 90s. There were no real coaches.
No.
Lee Priest says if you don't know your body by the time you're a pro, then you're in the wrong sport.
Yeah.
So, you had some people that would share information with each other, but this era of coaches where now you have Nick Walker who doesn't do well at the Olympia, he switches coaches like this. It's like no one takes the responsibility on their own physique anymore.
Yeah, something like that I agree on. For me it was like Dorian a little bit. I like to know how my body reacted on things I was doing, even though I had people I talked with.
Yeah.
Especially one coach was really important for me when I was living in Belgium, and that was Ferdy.
Yeah.
He was great. He had helped a lot of coaches, so he was very honest, told me everything I needed to know.
Yeah.
And that's when I came in the best shape ever for a show. So I was happy working with him. Even though I knew my diet, I knew my training, he didn't change anything. He just started to use the fat caliper. So he said to me, you have to be under this % if you're going to kick some ass.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
Yeah.
And I kicked some ass. He had it right.
I think everyone talks about the 90s as being the golden era, even though, which is interesting because they go, none of the people in that era had shredded glutes. But then there's you with the notorious, you probably, aside from Rich Gaspari, you're probably the most famous glutes in bodybuilding. Rich Gaspari was the first person to have the glutes.
Really good. No, for me it was maybe I didn't have the all best genetics, so I got to come up with something. And if I can't kill them on the genetics, I got to kill them on the training, the diet, the discipline, whatever I can handle.
Yeah.
Because I can't do anything about my genetics. So every time I went into the gym, it was like, okay, I'm the best bodybuilder in this gym, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to compete with anybody. normally it was like that.
Yeah.
So then I got to focus on the other. They training hard in Germany, in England, in the States, Spain, Portugal, whatever, Italy. So I need my training to be 100% today. And I was inspired by Arnold, Dorian, all the best bodybuilders, because it's very easy. They done something right. So I try to figure out my body and listen to the best bodybuilders. So I think when I finally got it together, was the training, the diet, everything, I had like tunnel vision.
Yeah.
I was very focused. So right now when I'm looking back at that period, it was really, really great. And of course I miss it, but I can't go back.
It is like and you look at Ronnie, who followed straight after. He trained in what Jay would call a shithole, and I've trained at Temple Street, and I've trained in that room. That was, I love it. I love that kind of old school hardcore gym. But it's interesting. It's not fancy equipment. It's not high tech equipment. It's literally blood and guts.
What did you train in Australia? Was it good?
Well, I trained at Tony's gym.
Yeah, that's good.
Doherty's, and I trained at in Australia though. I joined a gym called Spartan's Gym, and that was run by a guy who'd won the NABBA Mr. World title, and he was a legend in bodybuilding. His name was Don Mahoney, and he was like, for me, you know that time you see your first bodybuilder, and they just look like Hercules, superheroes, just wow. And then I moved to Norway, and I lived in Norway for a few years, and I even trained top form and
excuse me for
yeah.
But why did you move to Norway?
Well, the thing is that what happened was, when I finished university, I studied graphic design at university, and I did like a bit of a gap year.
That's why your design is so good.
Yeah. No, so I studied. I'm a graphic designer working at ad agency, and then I moved to Norway in 2000 for a little break, and that's when I met your brother. So I got to know Kai before I got to know you, and then I moved back to Australia, worked in an advertising agency, and then I spent my time in Australia doing stuff, and eventually, in 2017, I moved to Norway. So we can start it. Actually, I just hopped over a whole Mr. Universe and everything, didn't I? Yeah, I lived in China for 3 years.
And, you did that.
And so what happened was, at the end of 2008, I thought I'm going to give something have a change. So I moved to China, became a PT, working for myself. I was living in China on a tourist visa for 3 years, and living in China was very similar to how you had it. Just tunnel vision. There was no internet, like there was no YouTube, there was no Facebook. There's a great firewall of China. So basically you don't have access to the outside world. So I had actually no people to interrupt me.
Yeah.
I lived a lifestyle where I basically trained clients in the morning, trained myself, went home, had a nap, and just ate. That's it. So I got ambitious. I spoke to the president of NABBA, who said, "Oh, you should come over to Germany and do and give the Mr. Universe a go." So, but don't ever think you'll win, because you're not good enough to win. But just come along for the experience. So I went to Australia and qualified for it. I won the Mr. International, and then Graham told me, "Yeah, come over to Germany." So went over to Germany. It was a pretty impressive, daunting experience. And then I got fifth. And I remember coming to Norway straight afterwards, because I thought I'd catch up with my family, my grandma. And I was sitting on the train on the Flytog from Gardermoen into Oslo with my PC. And I wrote a plan saying, if I want to win the Mr. Universe, what do I need to do different? After every single competition, I always dissected everything and thought, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? What do I need to do better? So I thought, it's exactly 12 months till the Mr. Universe next year. What do I need to do to win? And I wrote a battle plan, step by step, everything I need to do. And I just figured if I tick every one of these boxes, technically I should win. You know, you got to still be the best person on the day, but if you do everything here, then at least if you come second, you did everything you could. You left it all.
Yeah, no regrets.
So I went back to China and went back to my monk lifestyle of just eating, training, this solitary lifestyle, no friends, and then the time comes to go to Australia to qualify to Mr. International. I flew into Melbourne and spent a week training there, and then I won that and won the overall. And then I thought, okay, that's exactly what I did last year. I won that competition, so I haven't achieved anything. I've just basically matched it. Then the following weekend was the Mr. Southern Hemisphere in Queensland. So I flew up to Queensland, and then the previous year, I got second. So this time I thought, okay, if I'm going to do some damage, if I'm going to win the Mr. Universe, I have to win in Australia. So I did the Mr. International, won my class, then I won the overall. And then I thought, okay, so now I've done something I've never done before. Won two competitions in a row. And then they gave me $1,000 check to put towards travel expenses. And now you're going to go and represent Australia at the Mr. Universe. So
that was great. They did that.
Yeah,
so it's not so much, but it's something.
It's enough to pay for something, yeah. So I went back to China for 3 weeks and straight back. I landed in Pudong in China. I went straight home and I went on the spin bike straight away. I said, I need to get rid of this water weight. I can't look in myself in the mirror.
How did you do? You cut water or increase water?
Oh, this was just like, I knew I had 3 weeks. I had, but when you travel, when you fly, I hold an insane amount of water. So I started riding the spin bike, and then the next 3 weeks went by quite fast. Went to Germany. I was the first person to Reggio. First person lined up. I turned up hours early, and they gave me number one.
They gave you number one?
I had number one. I was the first contestant to sign up. So I thought to myself, this could be an omen, or maybe I've never been number one before. And then went to the competition the next day, and then the interesting thing happened at that competition was they didn't do the trophy presentation. It was not like a pre-judging a night show. Okay. It was they judged the show, but they didn't do trophy presentation. They said, we're going to do the whole show, and then at the end we're going to get everyone back and give them each their trophies.
Strange.
Yeah, I know, it's unusual. Never had it before. So I did the competition, and then I sat there with the Australian team, and they were all going, hey, let's relax, let's have some chips, have a drink. And I just thought to myself, you know what, the high-res images these guys take, they're so good. I don't want to look shit for those photos. So who knows? I reckon I'm in the top 3. So I reckon I just want to look good for these photos. So they were passing a bag of chips around. I said, no. I just sat there, and eventually they call us out for the trophy presentation, and they go through the, in 5th place and 4th place, and I'm just looking around going, this is interesting. And then when they said in 3rd place, I thought the 3rd place guy was going to win. So when they said in 3rd place, and I go, hang on, but he's the best guy here. What? Who the fuck knows what's going to happen now? And then they said in 2nd place, and it wasn't me. And then it was like, yes. Then what was interesting is they then have the overall, which is a bit retarded, but the overall is between the other divisions.
What kind of division you were in? Heavyweight?
I was in super body, which was what they call it there in Germany. Anyway, so the heavyweights is the next extreme body, but super body is the one down from that extreme. Because I wasn't a big guy; I was 85 kilos.
Yeah.
And
so you competed with the other categories.
So
how many?
Well, it was the over 35s and the under 35s.
Okay.
So they wouldn't put me with athletic people because that wouldn't be fair. But all I had to do was, to win the overall, I had to beat the guy that was 35 plus, because they had a cutoff from 0 to 35 and 35 to whatever.
Yeah.
And I was under 35. I was 31 at the time. So I'm in the under 35 category, and I win. And then the over 35 category is coming onto stage, and whoever wins that, I then go against in the overall.
Yeah.
And so I'm standing off to the side of the stage, and I'm watching the overall. I'm watching the over 35.
Who's going to be
the guy I'm going to go against? And he didn't do what I did. He relaxed. After the show, previously, he's decided to probably have a bit of cake, and he spilled over.
Oh.
So I'm watching the guy who's won, and I'm thinking, really? I've got this. I'm going to beat this guy. I'm going to win the overall. Because I could tell, just because he spilled over, he shouldn't have done what he did. But I'm glad he did.
Yeah.
Because it's all mental, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he wins. So then I go in. They said they call us into the middle, and they go, okay, for the overall, pose down. Or they did the quarter turns, and then eventually, they said, and in first place, and the guy who was in the overall with me, he was from Italy or somewhere. So they go, in first place, he's come a long way. And I'm like, I'm in Germany. If you come from England, Italy, that's not a long way. The only person that's come a long way is me. So he's gone, he's come a long way. And I've got this. And then they go, yep, from Australia. And I go, yes. Then I go to Burger King that night, and I'm celebrating. I'm thinking, that's all well and good, but what do I do now?
Yeah.
And then I start thinking, what if I go for the Mr. Australia? It's in 4 months' time. Maybe I'll do that. So I basically celebrated for about 30 minutes before my mind already switched to prep mode again. I got to prep. I only got 4 months to win.
But the show you competed in Australia before you went to Universe, that was like a qualifier. It was not the
so it wasn't. It was an international show.
Yeah.
So the Mr. International is technically international, but it's mostly maybe people from Asia that come.
Yeah.
Then the Southern Hemisphere is from people from Brazil and anywhere else can come. So I did 2 kind of international shows before I did the Mr. Universe.
But you were not back in Australia and did a qualifier there?
So I had, in order to do the Mr. World later that year, I had to qualify by doing another Australian show.
Again?
So in September that year, I flew into Sydney to do the Mr. Australia. And I weighed 102 kilos.
So what's the difference in week and month before your title now to the next?
So June 27th, I won the Mr. Universe.
Yeah.
It was the same year, the same day that Michael Jackson passed away.
Really?
I remember we're listening to it on the radio on the way to the competition. Everyone's talking about Michael Jackson. They kept saying, "Oh, what's he up to now?" And then I found out he died. Anyway, so then I flew into Sydney in September, I think it was, and my weight class, there was kind of like the bodybuilding classic. You do your height, like your weight in meters minus 100 plus.
Okay, so
the classics.
they even take your height and your body weight.
So because of my height, I had to weigh 87 kilos.
Okay.
So I rocked up to the registration. I arrived in Sydney. I went to the registration, and I brought my own scales from China, so I could weigh myself, so I could see how much do my scales compare to those scales. I got on the scales of the competition. I weighed 102 kilos, and I have to weigh 87.
What?
I had to weigh 87 by the next day.
Oh, so you weigh 102?
Yep.
And it's only one day?
Yep. I had one day.
You have to go down 15 kilo?
Yep. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but
so
was
what I
you
did,
prepared for that? Or?
I know that this is my problem. When I fly, I hold water.
Also, it was so much water you hold from the flight.
Yeah, I know.
So how much did you weigh before you left?
Not that much, yeah. I said, probably 95.
Yeah, but 15 kilos is...
15 kilos, 15 kilos.
That's like a unbelievable thing.
Yeah. No, the funny thing was, I said to myself, okay, 15 kilos, you got this. You're just, your body's 90% water.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I get this?
This 70.
Oh yeah, well,
But you had 90 now.
I was 110%. No, so I went. All I did, I said to the person I was with at the time, I said, okay, I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to eat anything.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to go to the sauna. So I took my scales to the sauna. I went to a sauna nearby, a Fitness First, and I would do 1 minute in, 1 minute out, 1 minute. So I'd go into the sauna, get out, dry myself off, go on the scale. Oh, I lost another half kilo. Go back in, go back out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And then I was really thirsty, so I had an ice cube that I would suck on, or I would put some water in my mouth and spit it back out. And then I woke up the next day, and I remember driving to the registration. I knew I had it. I knew I made weight, but I never, ever, ever, ever felt this bad. Like I couldn't hear.
Oh.
I couldn't, if I had to turn to look at somebody, everything cramped. Everything. If I wanted to reach something, I'd have to.
Dehydrated.
Yeah, I was completely wrecked. But I made 86 kilos.
You made 86, but you could eat something after.
Then I went and ate, and then I drank, and I ate, and I drank, and I tried to get back, but I still weighed 86 kilos the next day.
Okay, so when you weigh in, you have 12 hours or 24 hours?
24 hours, yeah. Yeah, so the registration was a
good,
Saturday, and then the competition was a Sunday. And
so you couldn't pack on more kilo because
no.
Body just took everything in.
But all I did was I weighed pretty much the same weight the next day, but I felt better.
Yeah, you switched a little bit.
And then I won that. I won the overall. I won the Miss Australia, and now I was Miss Australia. And I thought, great, now I'm qualified. They gave me another 1,000. You're going to represent Australia at the Mr. World. Flew back to China. Was in China for 2 weeks, and then I flew back to Germany and turned up to the Mr. World, and the same thing happened again. I win my class, come back for the afternoon, the evening, do the thing, and I won the overall. And then, so that year I won the Mr. International, Mr. Southern Hemisphere, Mr. Universe, Mr. Australia, Mr. World. And the following year, Don Mahoney, the guy who I looked up to, who taught me bodybuilding, who was inducted into the Australian Hall of Fame as a bodybuilding legend, he told to me one day, Kris, one day if you do everything right, you'll be, a really good bodybuilder. He presented me with my Australian Hall of Fame plaque. So it was Don Mahoney that inducted me into the Bodybuilding Hall of Fame.
Right.
And then on top of that, that was the last competition that my whole family was at. It's the my very first competition my whole family's been to watch me, and so my family saw me debut in the novice in the NABA Victoria and get second place, and then 6 years later my whole family is there watching me get inducted into the Hall of Fame. And it's like, what a journey that is. And then after that, it kind of like, I did some more shows, but when your career is starting to come back down, and you feel it.
But I hear your story, Kris, and the guts you have by doing all these shows. I can see that you managed to open the shops and do all this success with the shop here in Haugesund, because you need this extra drive to do business, because it's so hard to do this business sometimes. It's not like a 40-week hour work. If you do your own business from start, it costs so much. So I can see where you learn your discipline from. So that's great.
No, thanks.
But it's tough, but it's great.
It's
that's what it takes. It takes fucking hard work if you're going to build something, because nobody comes and hand it to you. Yeah. And that's all the respect.
It's what the Don told me. He said, if you can master your body to the point where you can look a certain way at a certain time of day, if you can pick a random date and you're going to look exactly your best at 2:00 on a Sunday on the 24th of this month, if you can master that, then you can master anything.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with business. You go, okay, it's a formulated product. I know exactly what I want in there. I want this many milligrams of this many milligrams of that. I want this ingredient. I want this ingredient from this source, not this source. I want this kind of. I want the protein from that source, or I want the citrulline from this factory because I don't trust that factory. And if you do everything correctly, and I see that's where a lot of the businesses, they don't give a shit. They just chuck everything. They go, give me a protein that tastes nice. What's in it? Just tastes nice.
Yeah, I understand. It's the hard work that's built this company. So I'm glad to hear. It's the same, like, there's a lot of people who's working hard out there, but the people who want it, they sometimes just see the cake, but you have to bake the cake before you taste it, and that's what you did.
Yeah, and the cake
Well,
tastes so much better,
sweet and better, and you deserve it.
Nothing tastes as good as first place, though. So.
I'm glad, Chris. I'm very glad to hear your story.
No, I've been really looking forward to catching up with you and talking about stuff, and I think we've got so many stories. I mean, I would just love to hear you tell me about Ed Connors, and what's that like to be a house guest, and I just really would love to do this more often. And then obviously we can talk about the stuff that we're making or the new products. Like
we're gonna come back with some more.
Yeah, I mean, but if you look around, if you look just behind us, what I noticed before is that we've got Tommi's muscle mass here and my meal prep. These are two products that have probably been around for. That's very interesting because yours contains. Well, you can say it. What's in this one?
Oh, it's different types of protein, different sources, and it's carbs, 4 types of carbs.
What are the 4 carbs?
Glutamine, it's HMB, and it's also creatine.
Well, you've got egg in there, yeah?
Yes.
You've got
and
egg,
also
and you've got oat in there?
Oats in there too.
So this was actually one of the first products, because Massive Mass is basically just corn and milk protein. Yours was outside the box, and so meal prep doesn't contain any milk, but I really liked the muscle mass because it was more like the Dorian Yates way of thinking. It's got it. Because I remember you saying a long time ago, you can't have all your protein coming from the one source.
No.
You have to have, if you're going to have all this milk protein, you have to have some egg in there.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying that so well, because I remember you saying it was Dorian that told you that. And then I thought, okay.
So Dorian had typically a day, he had a steak meal, a chicken meal, eggs sometimes, and he didn't just go with chicken.
Yeah.
So the protein source is good, and also have different sorts of protein is good. Whey concentrate works good, but and that can help a lot of people. But for this, my motivation was to make something a little bit different, like you said, outside box, and different types of carbs, not just maltodextrin and dextrose.
Yeah.
That's fine if you during training. But muscle mass you can take outside the training.
Yeah.
After training is good, but like between meals, because you don't just crash after the carbs. You stay a little bit more.
And there's fructose in there too, isn't there?
A little bit.
Yeah, which is very important. Because I remember I was talking to Nick Jones from Gentech, and he was telling me that you can't have a product without you shouldn't have a carb product without a little bit of dextrose, without a little bit of fructose, because even though fructose doesn't go to the muscle, you have to keep the liver going in order to create all the flow-on effects of having that. So it's really important that fructose should be present in some form, but no more than around, you said 10%.
Yeah. So this is actually a good product if you want to gain weight. So your tour?
Yeah, that's fine. No, I just wanted to just make a mention that I'm so proud to have my product next to Tommi's.
Yeah, I got some messages. We have to go and train.
All right.
Thank you, Chris. Let's go. Let's go.
All right.